everyone, welcome to our lesson.
In today's lesson, we're going to talk about some jobs.
So let's go first to a restaurant.
Reference section. Reference section.
I'm a policewoman. I help people. I like my job.
Help, help, police, come here.
Okay. Hey, electrician, come here. Okay, engineer. I'm an electrician. I fix electric wires. I like my job.
Okay, everyone, now let's play the game called Hot Potato, and I'll play the music.
All right, so everybody make a circle.
Ц.Хулан? Okay, and we're using the names from the family, okay? Some things from the family.
Okay, who wants to go first? All right, the first letter is bayhad.
F.
F. No F in this word.
Solongo?
A.
No A in this word.
Puruk
M. What? M. M.
Good evening, everybody. This is Mongolia's first English anytime talk show named Inspired by Zaya. For me, I didn't study English abroad, but through my really poor English, I just want to proudly introduce our competent, talented, and very skilled young representatives. That's why today I am inviting this beautiful lady. Maybe everybody knows that principal of King's Kids School. Thanks for coming, Hula.
Hello, thank you for having me on the show. It's my pleasure, actually.
Okay, you're very welcome. So, how was your weekend?
Was busy, you know. I just recently had a baby like a few months ago, so, you know, baby stuff, mom stuff. So just revolving around home, and now school is on vacation, so pretty much on vacation mode.
Yeah, Mongolian, all people know you as a teacher, Holang. At the time, how old were you?
I was actually 10 when I started teaching, but then I taught for like 5 years, so the time I finished I was 15. So still I was very young compared to now. So I'm sure some people don't even recognize me by now.
Yeah, actually at the time, how did you involve in Mongolian as a broadcaster?
Well, at the time I was 4th grader, and I was a student at hobby school. And at the time it was Bolovsrol studio, and they wanted to have a TV show about teaching English to younger kids, right? And they wanted to find somebody, well, in the beginning they wanted to find an adult teacher, but then my producer, my PD, Yanjma, she said, how about we find a student teaching a student? So therefore, you know, the kids would not have that they would not be imitated by their teachers, you know, it's like a friendship kind of thing.
Exactly.
So the idea came along, and I was offered the position, and I did the audition, and I passed, luckily. So the show kept on for 5 years. So I guess it was a little bit of a success back then.
Yes, sure. So you worked as a teacher there and involved in Mongolian as a broadcaster. So that position impacted your life? So how?
I really do think so. Well, at the time I was a student, and as the time where they started airing the show, people started to recognize me on the street, and they said, oh, Hotlang teacher. And sometimes people would come and ask me, oh, like with a book or a text, can you please translate this to Mongolian, or do you know what it means? So that kind of gave me a really responsibility.
Yes,
I felt like, oh, I should know, because I cannot say, I had the pride to not to say I don't know. So I pushed myself harder to learn English more.
Yes.
More than my classmates probably. And then later on, of course, people started recognizing me, and then some possibilities and chances came along as well. So I think it really impacted my life.
Yeah, you were a star at the time, right?
I wouldn't say that, but...
So after then, I heard that you graduated a lot of universities abroad.
Yeah.
So tell me about the details.
Back then, I thought I will be going with the English language path, but then somehow, well, after I finished my 8th grade in Mongolia, I went to America as an exchange student. And it's actually a long story, the reason why I wanted to learn Chinese and go to China. Because on the way back to Mongolia from America, I lost my luggage in Beijing at the airport.
Really?
And then I thought, I was 15 back then. And I wanted to find my luggage, and I just spoke English to the staff members and stuff, but nobody understood what I was saying. And it was so frustrating because my next flight was like in an hour, and I had to find my luggage.
Yes.
So, and at that moment I realized, okay, Chinese people do not speak English. And I realized, well, Mongolia, we have two big neighbors, right? Russia and
Yes,
China,
exactly.
and we're not moving anywhere
Yes,
else.
that's true.
So I believe Chinese language is something that I should learn. That's how I felt back then. And well, possibilities came, and I got to learn Chinese. So I went to Shanghai to learn Chinese.
Actually, what is your major study?
It's actually Chinese language oriented foreign trade. So it's foreign trade, international trade, and Chinese language combined, two majors.
Wow, that's nice. But now you're working as a principal of King's Kids School. So why you decided to work in this educational sector?
Well, my mom is a teacher. She started teaching when she was 15. So this year she's already been a teacher for more than 50 years now. And when I was 11, because in the studio we have only like 5 or 6 students sitting in the classroom, right? But we got a lot of questions. I want to attend my kid in your classroom. I would like to attend my kid in your class, but we don't have enough space. And then so we came up with the idea, how about we open a school and then give them opportunities to learn English? Yes, so mom and I, well, of course she did most of the job regarding I was only 10 back then. And we started our school in 1999, King's Kids School. And she has been running the school ever since, but now I've graduated everything, and so you know, that's how the school business started.
Yeah, it means that your family business,
Yes,
right?
it is.
So how to work, how to, leading that kind of organization?
It's actually, well, I started teaching since I was 10, so I don't find it very, foreign to me. I find it very somehow related to me, because my family is all teachers, my dad, my mom, my grandparents also. So it just came very naturally, and yeah, actually we enjoyed very much, and I enjoyed as well. Now I will be leading it even more, since now I came to Mongolia now, so I'll probably do more starting this academic year.
Okay, yeah, King's Kids School, I think it's really nice school, because parents always say good things about your school.
Oh, thank you.
So tell me about your school. What is the main feature, and what is the main importance of your school?
Yeah, we actually we don't just teach English, we teach English academically, meaning we teach 18 subjects, academic subjects in English. So for example, let's say the subject math, we teach math in Mongolian and also in English. So, and also we have, as the grades go up, there are classes like science, geography, history, biology, and literature, etc. So 18 subjects. So the reason we do this is because we want to prepare students for SAT exams, overseas college board exams. We want to give them the opportunity. Also, by this, it opens more doors, such as scholarships or TOEFL classes and stuff like that. So we find it more, how do you say, it's just much better if they know all kinds of area English rather than just English, grammar English.
So that's the main feature, right? So what do you think about today Mongolian children's education, and what do you think about also educational sector's development, So since you're working in this sector.
The education nowadays, I believe in any sector, everything is getting better by day.
Yes.
But of course, there are some parts that's still lacking also.
Yes.
Because myself, I have studied in the United States and also in China, so I can compare. So there are some things that, for example, in America, you can choose in Mongolian education system, you cannot choose what you want to study. You don't have selective courses. They're just all mandatory. You have to study it.
Yeah.
For example, if somebody is bad at math, it doesn't matter. You just have to study it, right? And then, but in the United States, you have selective courses. There are like 20-something courses, but you can choose only 6. So if you're good at math, then you can do home eco. You can sewing or cooking. Or if you like singing, then you can do like girls' chorus or something like that. But I think that opens oneself more rather than later on finding out what they're good at. At the younger age, they'll be able to know oh, I'm good at sewing, then maybe I'll become a tailor, you know? So it actually opens more chances and choices for oneself at the earlier age, I think.
Yeah, I also think
Yeah, and but in China, well, it's a communist country, so, but the thing I see as Chinese students are they're very, very hardworking, very hardworking. Like if you get up at 6 a.m. in the morning, you'll find students in the, you know, in the garden reading, memorizing their subjects or whatever their classes are. And I think Mongolian students lack that kind of enthusiasm and hard-working ethic, I think.
This Inspired by Zaya talk show goes in English. The main reason is just, you know, English, because English language opens a lot of doors, right? So as for you, what kind of doors opened by English language for you?
If there were 50 Mongolians and 50 foreigners, then you can speak to 100 people rather than just 50. So, you know, personally and, you know, career-wise as well, it could open a lot of doors. And like anyone, student or worker or anyone, if you're a student and if you want to get a scholarship, then you definitely need English. If you're a career, if you're looking for promotion, then why not English, right? I can't think of like precise things to say right now for myself.
Yeah.
But as in general, for everybody, it could open a lot of doors. I mean, there is a reason why we say English is an international language, right?
Yes. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, our talk show is reaching to you from Akamaru Sushi, Japanese restaurant, which locates in 3rd floor of Central Tower. Today I'm meeting with this really beautiful girl. You know, I just believe that Mongol's future is not only mining sector. You know, instead, I believe our future will depend on really competent, skilled, and, you know, intellectual and educated young people. What do you think about it?
I also totally agree with you. But I see a lot of educated and very potential-wise people around me. But the sad thing is, somehow government doesn't really involve those people for their government purposes or anything regarding, you know, country-wise. So I hope, because also a lot of people, they like to go overseas.
Yeah.
Like a lot of my friends or people I know, they graduate a very nice school and they come from very nice background. They come to Mongolia, live for 2-3 years. Oh, I don't want to live here. I want to go back, or I want to find a job overseas. It's actually sad to see that. So I would really like to encourage my fellow young people, you know, just live here. You don't have to do much. Just living here is enough, you know.
Yeah.
Live here and just find a decent job, and then it would get better, I believe.
So, anyway, what does success mean to you?
Well, a lot of people ask me that, and I think being successful means just being happy. Being happy means like accepting, you know, just for example, if I'm not happy, that means I'm not happy with something I did, or I'm not fulfilled, right?
Right.
So meaning happy means that you're just successful. I mean, maybe I did something, I'm like satisfied with what I did, or I'm happy with my family, then that's just success, I believe. Because success equals money or success equals fame, I don't believe that.
Really? Are you a successful woman?
Yeah, I'm a happy woman, so I would say I am a successful woman.
Right. So how ambitious are you?
I'm very ambitious, and sometimes it could get very stubborn. If I want to get something done, if I don't get it done, then I just don't settle. You know, I don't settle for less than what I want. And sometimes my husband finds it very annoying.
Really? So, by the way, tell me about your family.
Well, my family, my parents, they're teachers, and I have one brother and 2 sisters.
Oh, I see.
I'm the youngest.
Oh, I see.
And my dad is actually a sportsman. He's a speed skater. He even went to the Olympics in 1980. And
It's really great.
he was the champion of Mongolia for like 15 times or so. He's a very great sportsman.
I
And
see.
my mom is a teacher, Gaviat, and
Wow.
she's very devoted to her work as a teacher her whole life. And my brother is a doctor, and my two sisters, my one sister is working in the British Embassy and one lives in Canada. And as myself, I just got married 2 years ago, and I recently, a few months ago, I just had a baby boy.
So, to compare with the single life, so how different is, family life?
It's actually, it's not, when I say different, then people will think, she mean it in a bad way, but I don't. It is different, it's totally different.
Yeah.
Especially motherhood really changes you, because
yeah.
the moment you hold your baby in your arms, that feeling is just magical, I would say. It's like the feeling of responsibility plus the feeling that you have to protect and love and care that baby forever. That feeling is just amazing. And every day when I see him, no matter how, if I'm stressed from work and I come home and I see my baby, then everything, I just forget it. And so it's actually amazing. I love my married life now. Not that I didn't enjoy my single life, but equally, I mean.
Yeah. Maybe a lot of guys, feel sad about you because you're already married. So tell me about the husband.
My husband, we met in university. We were in the same class.
I see.
He was my class leader. He used to sit in front of me. And the funny thing is, I never liked him. And
How can you say that?
no, because when we were students, because he is the type of guy that really annoys other students. He is the guy to come to school the first thing in the morning. He's the one to arrive. And he is the one that all the teachers like, And then he is also very polite. So we thought, why is he always like this, making us look bad? So we didn't like him. And then the jokes he said, I didn't like. So whenever he wanted to talk to me, he would like turn around because he sits in front of me, right? I said, okay, just turn around. But somehow, I don't know. And by the time we were in senior year of college, because we had this HSK, it's like a HSK test is TOEFL test, like it's in Chinese.
I see.
So we had to get level 8 in order to graduate, but no one in our class had level 8, so we were preparing together, like for the last semester. So we were very busy. So that's how we got very close, study together, eat together, and do the test together. So somehow we got very close, and after graduation he went to England. So we did the long distance thing for a year or two. It was hard, but finally we're together now.
Wow, that's nice. So as a young person, I just want to ask one question is that, by your thinking, is it better to marry at early age or is it better to wait a while?
I would say after you graduate, work 2 or 3 years and then get married. I think that's like the right time. Well, it depends from person to person actually. Well, for myself, I think that's just enough. And you have to know the person as well. I see a lot of people getting married after like few months. I would not suggest that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it's better to know the person a while, Don't rush into things before knowing the other. Because there are a lot of people who change once you start living with that person together. Dating is a different thing, marriage is also a different thing, I think.
How different is that?
Well, dating, you don't have to be together 24/7. That's the start.
Yes, that's true.
And you don't have to see the flaw of the other person that often. Now, for example, some of my guy friends, they say, okay, they're single, and they say, I can't imagine that if I get married, I don't want to see my wife take a poop or, But, I mean, she's a human being as well, so those kind of things you would have to see. So marriage is just, I think, more deeper rather than just outside, inside, soul to soul.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Inspired by Zaya English Entertainment Talk Show. Our talk show is reaching to you from Akamara Sushi Ramyun Japanese restaurant that locates in 3rd floor of Central Tower. Okay, hold on. The next question is that, you know, you're a very successful girl and, you know, graduated abroad, and so everybody knows you as a teacher, Ц.Хулан. So who are you as a woman?
As a woman,
Yeah.
I would say I'm very, because some people might say, oh, you've been on TV since you were young, so they probably might find it, you know, very outgoing or very, you know, loud, but I'm not. I'm actually very quiet. I can sit for hours without, you know, just not talking or doing anything. I don't know, like ever since, because I was the youngest, so I spent a lot of time with my parents. I had nobody to play with. So when I was young, I used to play alone all the time. So I don't have to have somebody with me. You know, some people, they cannot go shopping alone, or they cannot eat out at a restaurant alone. But for me, I can enjoy my time very well. I'm actually a very quiet person. And I don't like irresponsibility in people. So sometimes that could get, you know, the people who surround me a little annoyed, I believe.
So now you're working as a boss in King's Kids School. So what kind of boss are you?
I would say actually a very good boss and a very nice boss.
Wow, how self-confident girl you are.
No, because I think being a boss and being a leader is two different things. Because I really want to be, I've seen my mom doing her job ever since I was a little girl, and she's a very people's person. She doesn't see everybody as I'm the boss, you're the same. She sees everybody as individual. She comes to work and you know, with the cleaning lady, oh, how are you? How's your son doing? And then she knows everybody's, and amazingly, she knows everybody's, you know, their husband's name, their children's name, and their problems at home. And then for example, let's say if some teacher has some, you know, issues or problem, she would like call him or her to her office and try to solve that problem. So when I've seen that, you know, a lot of times. So I really want to be that kind of person, that kind of boss, as you put it. I really would love to, and so hopefully I could be that kind of principal.
Okay. Do you agree that maybe women are stronger than men? What do you think about it?
I think so.
Really?
And I think I proved my
Maybe
point.
a lot of guys want it.
I think I proved my point. I think women prove their points when they give birth. Because, oh my God, the pain was was just. I don't want to be like the only one, you know. I mean, all women have experienced it, but I'm sure men can't handle that, because when men get a cold or when they have a slight headache, they're like, oh, I need painkillers, I need a medicine.
Like your baby.
I know, right? But us women, we're very strong. So I think women are stronger than men.
Right. So for me, I used to work in World Vision International, the children's, you know, organization for 4 years, and at the time I faced, you know, I saw a lot of children who live in difficult circumstances. So as for you, working with the children, what do you think about Monголын children, and how do you see their future? Especially children who live in difficult circumstances.
Yeah, I think because like when on the street or at the parking lot, I see kids, you know, selling this stuff, selling that stuff, or you know, kids on the street. It really hurts my heart, because I think it's their parents' responsibility really to like, if you want to have a baby, then you should be able to provide for that baby. You cannot just like, hey, let's have a baby and have that baby and then just give that baby that hard life. So I think we should have sex ed classes in schools. We don't have that. Well, we have something called, you know, health, but we don't have sex ed like in America we do.
Yeah.
So I don't think people, you know, like family organizing, like when to have a family, when to have a baby. Nobody, we don't have consulting at all. So I think we should probably those UN or I don't know, the people in charge or the Ministry of Education, they should enforce such classes or such activities so that people would have much more understanding of. I think it's really all because of that. The root is that. I mean, you didn't plan enough, therefore the kids' life. So I think it's really sad. And I cannot say like, oh, it'll be fine, because I'm not sure. It probably won't be fine, which is the sad part mostly. So yeah. And after, well, before I was a mom, okay, I was sad, of course, but after I had my baby, I just keep comparing it to my own son, like, oh, what if my baby was like on the street doing this, what if that? So it gets even more sadder, actually, and I would love to do something that could change. And actually we do help at King's Kids School.
Yes.
Kids with, for example, if their parents both work in government sections, we give them discount, because we know government salaries are not high enough. And for example, if that kid is orphan, then we also give you know, some tuition reduction as well.
Wow, that's really nice. Maybe I hope that a lot of young girls are watching us. So, what would be your advices to young girls who wants to become a, you know, teacher or who wants to work in this educational sector? Please give them advices. I think that you're kind of experienced boss.
Well, not only girls, but also boys as well. I would say the main core of being at least somewhat successful is to be responsible. So being responsible is not, because responsible is such a big word that people often mistake it as something, you know, oh, responsibility. But responsibility is something so simple and something so small. For example, if somebody calls you, pick up the phone. Or if you said you would do it, then do it. Or if you have a garbage, then put it in the garbage can. Or if you don't, then just put it in your bag and put it in the garbage can at home. Or, you know, just very small things. So once one person learns to be responsible on, you know, his or her daily life, I think it kind of shapes that person to be more, you know, rather than here and there, here and there.
Yeah.
So I think the main core would be, you know, responsible for your own acts.
Wow. Yeah, that's really nice advice. So, our talk show has a special part, which is to throw Monголын traditional forankable, right? Because this is actually good fortune teller.
Does it have a prize? No?
You know, the horse and sheep is deemed lucky, okay?
Okay.
Camel and goat is deemed a little bit unlucky, okay?
Okay, so I better
All
not.
four sides on one throw is indicated.
Yeah,
but very
I know.
good. As for you, young girl, young woman, I just want to see your spirit. Even though we're talking in English, we're still Mongolians, right? So let me see your spirit.
I just do it in one go, right?
Yeah, just once. Oh my God,
it's like
you're very spiritual, girl. Wow, that's
thank God.
really nice. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Our official partnership, Elegance Magazine, is given to you. This is really nice magazine, just read it.
Okay, thank you very much. I will.
Okay. At the end of the interview, I'm just giving you opportunity. Okay, please look at that camera, and you can say whatever you want to your friends, family, or just your, you know, students. Maybe it's opening to you.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. It was actually very fun. It didn't feel like a show at all. It felt like I was talking to a friend.
Thank you.
And,
take it as a compliment. Okay?
Yes, please do. To those who are watching, I hope you had a nice Natam and have a nice summer, because we only get like 2 or 3 months of that.
Yeah.
So just be happy, be with the people you love, and let's just all live a happy life in a nice Mongolia, I would say.
Wow, that's really nice. So at the end of the interview, I have just one question. Please describe yourself in 3 words.
Myself in 3 words? Stubborn. Quiet.
Quiet.
Smart.
Smart. Really
Okay,
nice.
that's a little too cocky, but
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for coming, Jose. I wish you every
Thank you
success
very
in
much.
your life and work in the future, and also I wish you full of joy and happiness.
Thank you very much. I wish you all the best as well.
Thank you so much, Jose.
Yeah.
It was the Mongols' first English in a time talk show named Inspired by Zaya. I always really proud of my really competent and educated young representatives of Mongolia. Please, guys, follow your possibilities and open yourself to the best of what can be and make it so. See you next week, guys.